What if I told you that putting together an IKEA chair, or simply remembering how to use your phone, could be described as romantic? Sounds ridiculous, right? But that's exactly the kind of playful, exaggerated language you'll hear in Sabrina Carpenter's new song, Tears. At first listen, you might think the lyrics are funny or even a little over the top. But here's the secret. They're also packed with everyday English expressions, idioms, and exaggerations that tell us a lot about how native speakers really use language. And that's what makes this song so exciting to explore. Why does Sabrina Carpenter sing about tears down to thighs, an image that's clearly impossible in real life? Why does she say, a little initiative can go a very long way, and then cleverly twist it into, that's my ideal foreplay? Why would she mention something as ordinary as, assemble a chair from IKEA, and yet make it sound like a symbol of love and effort? And finally, why do everyday actions like showing respect, sending a message, or doing the dishes come across as more powerful in her lyrics than diamonds, roses, or chocolates? These are the questions we're going to unpack in this episode. Because here's the truth. English isn't only about grammar and vocabulary lists. It's about creativity. It's about exaggeration. It's about using humor and drama to make a point. By the end of this episode, you'll understand how Sabrina's playful exaggerations aren't just funny lyrics. They're lessons in how English speakers express big feelings through small, everyday words. And even better, you'll discover how you can use the same style in your own conversations to sound more natural, more fluent, and maybe even a little more charming. Hello and welcome to Everyday Fluent English. I'm so glad you're here. This is the podcast where we take real English from culture, music, and daily life and turn it into lessons you can use right away. No boring textbooks, no robotic sentences, just real, living English. Today, we're diving into Sabrina Carpenter's new song, Tears. Now, whether or not you're a fan of her music doesn't really matter, because what matters here is the language. This song is witty, exaggerated, and dramatic, and it's the perfect example of how English can be playful while still teaching us something valuable. We'll go line by line through some of the most interesting phrases, and I'll show you how each one connects to real English that people use every day. Along the way, you'll hear about exaggeration, idioms, humor, and the cultural truths hidden behind these lyrics. So get ready, because we're about to discover why a pop song can actually be one of the best teachers of fluent, natural English you've ever had. Imagine crying so much that your tears don't just stop at your cheeks. They reach your thighs. Impossible, right? Nobody can literally cry that much. So why does Sabrina Carpenter say it? This line, tears down to thighs, is a perfect example of hyperbole or exaggeration. English speakers love hyperbole. We use it in songs, in comedy, and even in everyday talk. When someone says, I'm starving after skipping lunch, they don't mean they're dying of hunger. They're exaggerating to make the emotion sound stronger. Sabrina does the same here. The tears aren't real, but the feeling of sadness or drama becomes bigger, more powerful, and more memorable. Now let's move to another clever lyric. A little initiative can go a very long, long way. This is an idiom. Go a long way means that even small actions can create big results. In relationships, it's not about expensive gifts or grand gestures, it's about effort. And Sabrina pushes this idea further with humor, calling it my ideal foreplay. Instead of focusing on physical romance, she turns everyday respect and communication into the real attraction. It's witty, modern, and shows how English can mix seriousness with playfulness. Then we hear something unusual in a pop song. Assemble a chair from IKEA. What's romantic about flat-pack furniture? At first, it sounds funny, almost random, but think deeper. In English, ordinary actions often carry emotional weight. Helping with chores, building something, or fixing a problem, these aren't just tasks, they're signs of care. By highlighting something as ordinary as assembling IKEA furniture, Sabrina is saying, love is built through effort, not just big, dramatic moments. She continues with, a little respect for women can get you very, very far. Again, this uses an idiom, get you far. In English, it means achieve success, not just in relationships, but in life. Respect, kindness, and decency are shown here as powerful qualities. Sabrina wraps a serious social truth inside playful lyrics. Respect isn't optional. It's the foundation. Next comes humor. Remembering how to use your phone gets me oh so hot. Is she serious? Not really. It's playful exaggeration. She's joking that paying attention and being present, something as simple as texting back or making a call, can feel attractive because it's rare. In English, humor often comes from exaggerating ordinary things, making them sound bigger than they are. Finally, Sabrina closes with, treating me like you're supposed to do. It sounds obvious, almost too simple, but that's exactly why it's powerful. This line reflects social norms in English. Respect and decency are not extraordinary. They are the baseline, the standard. The lyric reminds us that in language, as in life, sometimes the simplest expectations carry the deepest meaning. What's so fascinating about this song is not just the music, but the language hidden inside it. Every phrase, from tears down to thighs to assemble a chair from IKEA, carries a playful exaggeration, a clever idiom, or a hidden truth about how English really works. Think about it. When Sabrina says, a little initiative can go a very long way, she's not just talking about relationships. She's teaching us an important English expression. This phrase is everywhere, in workplaces, in daily conversations, in motivational speeches. And she turns it into something fun, something memorable. That's the magic of songs. They make language stick. Or consider the humor of remembering how to use your phone gets me oh so hot. It's witty, it's exaggerated, and it's unexpected. But at the same time, it reflects a cultural truth. Being attentive, being present, actually matters. In English, we often exaggerate small things to make a big point, and this line shows it perfectly. Then there's, a little respect for women can get you very, very far. That's more than just lyrics. It's a life lesson dressed up as an idiom. Get you far doesn't only mean success in love, but success in life. And that's the kind of phrase you'll hear in job interviews, in TV shows, even in friendly advice. And maybe my favorite part, the ordinary turned extraordinary. Assemble a chair from IKEA. Who knew flat-pack furniture could sound like romance? But that's how English works. It takes the everyday and through humor or exaggeration makes it meaningful. So, what can we take away from all this? Fluency isn't about memorizing perfect grammar or long vocabulary lists. It's about noticing how language is actually used, in songs, in jokes, in everyday speech. It's about creativity, humor, and sometimes even exaggeration. And that's why we looked at tears today. Because when you understand these phrases, you're not just learning English, You're learning how English speakers think, feel, and connect. Thank you for spending this time with me on Everyday Fluent English. If today's episode made you smile, taught you something new, or even changed how you see English, then do me a favor. Share it with a friend. Because, as Sabrina says, a little initiative really can go a long way.